courtroom was packed, both sides being fully represented, but you could feel that tension. Those protesters are still here waiting for President Biden to leave Max Hayes High School. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see them right now. Health experts want to remind you that it's okay to turn the TV off or put your phone down if things begin to feel too heavy. Sadly, there isn't an instant fix to the gun violence happening all around us, but the city truly believes that if they could, even in a small measure, help someone, help save a life like that little boy Caden, then they've done their job. Take a look at the street right next to me. At first glance, it looks like just a one-lane street, but what if I told you this was supposed to be a two-lane street? This is where drivers say things are getting dangerous. If you don't want to come out here and run the whole 5K, you can walk a mile, which is probably something that I'm going to do because I don't know if I could run a 5K today. It was ice that was hitting me in the face, really hard winds. Now it's snow. It's soft. It's the stuff that we want to see from our bedroom windows.
For any person to see their mom or dad get pulled over and then put in handcuffs is traumatizing.
This video is from just last week when Tracy Goodwin was pulled over by East Cleveland police after they ran her license plate.
He proceeds and says, well, I am putting you under arrest. He took the handcuffs out, cuffed me, put me in the back of the car. I'm steady asking, what's the problem? Why are they pulling me over? He says, well, we're putting you under arrest because you have a felony warrant coming out of Chicago, and a guy, black male named Marcus, is coming up on your plate.
This was the second time Goodwin has been pulled over and asked about Marcus. The first time 2 months ago in Kent.
Ms. Goodwin, has anyone else owned your car or had that car in their name?
19 News discovered that Marcus Kirkham has a felony warrant out for his arrest in Cook County, Illinois. And according to East Cleveland police, Goodwin's social security number, along with 2 others, is listed under Kirkham's warrant.
I don't know if this person has used my social to do other things, and I'm actually scared to drive now.
So we called the Cook County Sheriff's Office again today, but no one answered, and we left 2 messages.
One is not available.
So Goodwin faced her fears and got back behind the wheel, and we followed her to the Cleveland Police Department to file for identity theft.
He did pull it up and let me know that, of course, yeah, they do have this felony warrant up under my social security number.
After filing her police report, Goodwin was given several numbers, including one for the FBI, solidifying that this problem is not only serious, but needs to be handled sooner rather than later.
Good afternoon, FBI.
But the FBI couldn't help Goodwin, passing the baton and telling us she needed to call the state of Ohio. So I called the office of Congresswoman Shontel Brown to see if she could help. Her office sending us this statement saying they are confident that her staff in the district can help Miss Goodwin. We also called the Ohio Criminal Identity Office. No one answered.
Please give me a call back at 216.
We're going to keep calling and working hard until Goodwin can drive with a target no longer on her back.
I really greatly appreciate you guys for even taking the story, taking your time out, and to help me.
In Cleveland, I'm Aria Janel, 19 News.
No justice! No peace! No justice!
It's happening right in your backyard. People pleading for a change in a system they say is corrupt, allowing judges to misuse their power.
Our criminal legal system is racist, violent, and deeply unjust.
Handing out what some believe are unjust and unfair sentences. Just this week, 2 women stood in front of judges waiting to hear their fate. Debbie Bosworth, the former clerk of the village of Sugar and Falls, found guilty of stealing more than $238,000.
Record should be clear that these are felonies of the 3rd degree.
And in another Cuyahoga County courtroom was Carla Hopkins, a former Maple Heights High School secretary, found guilty of stealing more than $40,000.
Pled guilty to a felony of the 3rd degree. There's a possible sentence of up to 36 months.
The cases couldn't have been more similar, but when the gavel came down, the differences created an uproar.
She will be placed on 2 years of probation.
18 months.
But what created the disparity? Was it race, the judge, or the fact that one paid the money back and the other one hadn't? We took your questions to Supreme Court Judge Michael Donnelly. His response, shocking.
You know, the sentencing laws that we currently operate provide extreme discretion to trial court judges to deal with sentencing criminal defendants, but there's no guardrails on the system.
And what that means is whatever judge you draw has a big impact on the outcome of the case.
We found instances where a black defendant who on paper was exactly the same as a white defendant, and the black defendant received a 26-year sentence, and the white defendant received a 2-year jail sentence. That's the kind of disparity that caused lawmakers in the state of Florida to react immediately and move in this direction towards the collection of necessary data.
Judge Donnelly and others are pushing to have the state of Ohio to create a database like the one being tested out in Florida. It would list cases by race, gender, criminal background, and sentence.
These are all important data points so that we can compare apples to apples and say, hey, wait a minute, Judge. Before you go that route, here's what you've done in the past.
This tool could shed light on racial disparities and biases within the criminal justice system. It would allow for fair sentencings across the board. But Judge Donnelly isn't getting full support. 19 News found that only 9 judges here at the Justice Center are partaking in the pilot program. But why wouldn't others want to? Attorneys like Susan Moran have their own thoughts.
Well, it takes away the power a little bit, right? It challenges them. So, you know, a certain judge, certainly a judge that's been on the bench for 30 years, doesn't want to be told that they're doing it wrong, or that they lack perspective, or that they are out of line with everybody else. That's insulting to them.
The power is in their hands, some thriving in it, others wanting relief from the burden. A database is what stands in their way. A database could be the thing standing in the way of your freedom.
I think our citizens want to believe that if they find themselves in the criminal justice system, whether they are the accused or whether they are a victim, that the resolution of their case is going to be based on the facts and the rule of law, and that they're going to be treated fairly.
For 19 News, I'm Aria Janel.